Again, Dalton, really appreciate you doing this. And I guess we'll start with this. It's your third annual golf tournament out here in Manhattan. We know your success over at K State, and when you started it 3 years ago, what was that plan? What went into you doing this for kids with cancer, and what went into that, and what started you or gave you that plan to start it 3 years ago?
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, I appreciate it as well. Thank you so much. And it being my third annual golf tournament, I take a lot of pride in that. It's not just the Risner Foundations. It's definitely not just Dalton Risner's. It's a part of Kymel, and Kymel is really the main focus of this golf tournament. And Kymel is a nonprofit organization that, like you said, supports kids, adults, anybody, families that are either battling cancer, in remission of cancer, have beaten cancer, are in the thick of it. I mean, whatever stage you're in, I mean, this organization helps not only the child that has cancer or the adult, but the family a part of it. They have a camp for the siblings of kids that have cancer. They have a camp for the kids that have cancer. It's called Camp Hope. That's how I first got intertwined with this whole deal, was when I played football at Kansas State my freshman year. I went down to Great Bend, Kansas, and played a role at Camp Hope, which is a part of Kymel. And it's a big part of Kymel. It's a week-long camp that gives kids hope, inspiration, love, fun, camaraderie, together to spend time with each other. And I went down there to make the impact because I was the Kansas State football player. I was the big guy, and I thought I was the one doing them a favor. And I think that's how they viewed it too. But when I left, I soon realized that they were the ones that did me the favor. Whether it was their energy, their positivity, their vibrance, their way that they approached their days, and they treated each other despite the circumstances they were in, and the volunteers and the people a part of that organization. It changed my life so much to where I've been on the board for 5 years. I have been going to Camp Hope and being a part of Camp Hope slash Kymel, the organization I'm talking about, for 10 years. And I started a golf tournament, and I'm the presenting sponsor for the third year in a row because of how much it means to me. So I know that was a lot, but that background is exactly why I have this golf tournament. It's to raise money for an organization that uses its money to actually legitimately change lives, for the better. I've seen it firsthand. Most of the kids that you see every year, you won't see the next year. That's the type of organization that this is and the circumstances that they deal with. So very proud to be a part of Kymel and proud to put the golf tournament on for the third year in a row.
And obviously, you're doing that in Manhattan, right? Obviously, where you played for 4 years, as you mentioned. You talk about how much it meant to you, and how you got your start, obviously, when you were a freshman at K State, and to be able to build that and still have those connections. And you understand that, especially being in the NFL, you're building connections, you do all these different things off the field. What's how does that work in terms of when you continue to build those relationships? Do people come to you? How do they find it? What goes into that kind of process?
Yeah, well, I think it's when something means a lot to you, you stay in touch. When something is affecting you and impacting you positively down to your core, it's something you want to stay involved in. I've always been a guy that has been active in the community and cared about my legacy off the field, as well as being a football player. But ever since I was at Kansas State, and really ever since I was in Wiggins, Colorado, before I went to Kansas State. But a lot of people in the NFL or college will show up, take a picture, write a check, and think that they're a hero. To me, I think donating money is great. I think that all that is awesome, but I don't believe in showing up and taking a picture and writing a check. I believe in giving time. I believe in being involved in organizations. I mean, I'm about to do my fifth Riser Up tour. All the kids and organizations that I partnered with, and I built relationships with while at Kansas State, I promised them that I would see them every year. And I'm a man of my word. So every year I rent a car and I make stops in Kansas City, Topeka, Manhattan. I mean, I'm going out for the golf tournament on the 27th, but I'm leaving on the 24th, and I'll be busy for the 3 days leading up to it, if that tells you anything. And that means stopping to see kids, adults, families, people I promised I would see. And I guess to your answer is, when you care about something, you stay involved. So it hasn't been hard to stay involved with Kymel. It hasn't been hard for me to stay involved with Special Olympics, or it hasn't been hard for me to stay involved with football. Why? Because I care about football, and when you care about something, you're going to make sure you stay a part of it. So that part has been pretty easy. Now the promising part of seeing every year, that's been something that, I look back on, I'm like, well, I made the promise, and not that I don't like to do it, but it definitely, that list grows, as you have impacts on people, you continue to have that list grow. So that hasn't been easy.
I know there's probably a lot of stories that have touched you, or kids, adults that, you have encountered and talked with. And what's maybe your favorite? What are your moments that you remember about doing these events and other events that you do? What are some of those that maybe people wouldn't understand that you see firsthand in person, so people can understand the stories that you see and the people that you meet? What's that like for you too?
Yeah, well, I think with this event in particular in Manhattan, you mentioned it earlier, but that's where my career started for me. I feel like that's where I became who Dalton Risner was. I got to give so much credit back to the Kansas State community. I remember when I was leaving there, everyone wanting me to be a chief. I can say it now, go Chiefs. I appreciate you guys. But at the same time, that's where I found out who I was. And you make these relationships, and I created my foundation based off those relationships and wanting to empower other people to do the same thing. This world needs more kindness. This world needs more love. This world needs people that are willing to help each other and lend a helping hand. Not everybody just trying to get on the fast track to success and to earn another buck. It's unbelievable, but I think that as you grow up, or as people, are successful in life, they all they've ever wanted, they figure out that it's not enough. Whether it be money, whether it be fame, whether it be the car you have or the house you have, or that nice meal. You can keep looking for those things and searching for those things, but they're never going to fill your cup. The things that fill your cup are exactly what you just asked me. It's love and it's relationships. I mean, when I leave on the 24th and I head down there to the Kansas City area, Chiefs Kingdom, I'm going to be around relationships and organizations of people that fill my cup. And I think that I fill their cup too, because that's the stuff that matters in life. So you ask for one story or one moment. I can't give you one. All I can tell you is the tour every year where I just make stops to see individuals or families or adults or companies or whatever it is that I work with my foundation. That stuff is the stuff that matters. Saturday when we're at the golf tournament, seeing certain kids that have beaten cancer that are there, that are golfing, that I'm able to take a picture with, or hug, or see old friends from Kansas State, or stop and see my buddy Michael Carpenter, who's a part of Manhattan Special Olympics. I mean, the list goes on and on, Vince. My foundation and events like this sure do mean a lot to me. Oh man, I'll show you my head. I'm bald, bro. I'm older than you think. My last year was Coach Snyder's last year. And that's
Okay.
also a reason I don't have much hair. That's good and bad. Love Bill Snyder, man. That is my guy. Blue collar organization, as everybody knows out there at Kansas State. But my 5 years were all with Bill Snyder. His last year was my last year. I put him on my shoulders. I think there's a picture of me carrying him out for his 200th win or something like that. But yeah, all my time was spent with Coach Snyder. Got a lot of respect for Coach Kleiman. It's been a little unfortunate for me just because I wanted to, it's like almost like the whole coaching staff I had for 5 years had left Kansas State. So I don't obviously have a relationship with much of the coaches at Kansas State. But I've gotten the opportunity to meet a couple of them, and they're a great coaching staff, and they've had a lot of success.
Now let me ask, because I know I don't know if you have followed them last year with the Pop Tarts Bowl and Avery
Come
and
on,
all that
bro.
kind of stuff. And
Yeah, you can quiz me. I know anything you need to know about K-State football, man. Come on.
but when you looked at the team last year, obviously Will, he entered the transfer portal, and then you knew Avery committed, a Kansas kid, went to Mays High School down in Wichita. You saw what he did a little bit in the Pop Tarts Bowl, and you kind of saw the flashes of his legs and his arm. Are you excited for what Avery can do and what Coach Kleiman, and I know obviously Colin left for Texas A&M, but
Mhm.
what just excites you so much about this program with Avery Johnson under center now?
Well, I mean, they've just had so many great guys. I mean, the year before, was the Deuce Vaughn show, and just watching the Wildcats play ball with him. I mean, he was a special generational talent, in my opinion. Cooper Beebe was a awesome guy to watch. You know, I got to give shout out to the offensive line dude. I mean, guys that I played with, Hayden Gillum was there whenever I was there, and just a lot of respect to a lot of the guys there. I know that the work that goes in to do what they do, and they found themselves at they won the Big 12 championship, man. I mean, how cool is that? You know, they went down to, I think they were in Dallas, and they beat TCU in Dallas for the Big 12 title 2 years ago. I mean, that's huge. So hats off to them. In terms of this next year, I think Kansas State fans are doing what they always do, and I think that they're a little bit overzealous. And I only say that because I want to give this kid Avery some time. And I played at Kansas State for 5 years, so I know how it works. And I know that he's probably feeling so much pressure and weight because he feels like he has to perform now, which, hey, you know, this is the Division I football. You do got to perform now. But at the same time, I think we all can agree Avery's got 2 or 3 really good years at Kansas State before the next chapter. So I guess what I would say is I think that there's some titles and some championships coming our way. But to all the fans out there, if they listen to this or watch this, just, you know, if this kid needs a little bit of time to get his traction and he hits a few road bumps, I mean, let's not forget his age, and let's give him some time to develop. I think everyone needs some of that.
One last thing I'll probably ask you too about, you know, when you look at your trajectory of your career, again, starting at Kansas State, you know, with the Broncos and then, you know, with the Vikings this past season, what's maybe your message in terms of how different maybe the landscape of football has changed with, you know, like as you get older, oh, we're not going to give you this money, or like, you know,
Yeah.
everybody tries to go the younger route. What's your message for, you know, those kids that are in your position as an offensive lineman or wide receiver, whatever it is, just to kind of keep your head down and keep moving forward?
You know, man, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's been easy. I mean, I was drafted in the second round, which was great. I earned the position. I started in Denver for 4 years. But, you know, my third year, people started talking about maybe me getting traded. Coaching staff started to change because the Broncos weren't doing well. And then my fourth year, the coaching staff completely changed. New head coach. We have a new GM, new different, like just completely different turnover. I had a staff that, you know, didn't think Dalton Risner was the guy. I was benched, ended up earning the job back within a matter of 2 months. I played my whole fourth year. I've been able to stay healthy. I worked my butt off, and I still didn't get picked up out of free agency. And that was super hard. I mean, I'm a guy that realizes I'm not the best guard in the league, but I know this, Vince. I've started 75 games in my 5 year career. I don't miss games due to injury. Definitely don't miss it due to anything but injury. I'm a guy that you're going to have counted on every single Sunday. I'm going to be the first to the pile. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to block guys like Chris Jones on Sunday. And I'm not going to say I'm going to do it easily, but I'm going to block guys like Chris Jones and hold my own. And I'm just still undervalued. I mean, last year I didn't get a job till September, and the team that gave me a shot, I showed up there, and their 4 year starter within 3 weeks, I beat him out for the job. They ended up trading him away, and I played 11 games, and they relied on me every Sunday. And, you know, I thought that things would change this offseason. Here I am in April, about to be May, and I don't have a job. And it's unfortunate, man. But you know what? In this life, people are going to doubt us. People are going to tell us we're not good enough. People are going to, you know, pick us apart and maybe tell me why I'm not picked up or whatever it is. But all I can say is that everyone's plan, everyone's journey is different. I could sit here and complain about not being picked up, or sit here and complain or worry about the future. And, you know, am I going to, you know, be on a team this year? What's the plan? But you know what? I'm just going to be grateful for the blessings I have. I played 5 years at Kansas State, had an outstanding career, won every award that there's probably possible, and still none of that matters. You know, I've started 5 years in the NFL, and that's not the stuff that matters. I'll mention it to you again, but it's the people around you. It's the love. It's the relationships. It's the time you invest in other people. That's the real stuff. The awards, they collect us. The money, it doesn't matter. The fame, it doesn't matter. So that would be my message. I sure hope I'm playing ball again this next year. And my goal is to find a team that values a blue collar guy like me.
Well, Dalton, is there
Yeah.
anything else that I'm missing from, you know, excuse me, the, you know, Kymel, your golf event, anything that I'm missing that you would like to add?
Nope, it's all good, man. I would just recommend everyone go to kymel.org. Check out what we spoke about today. Vince and I did the golf tournament. Feel free to come visit us April 27th, 8 to 9 a.m. is registration down there at Colbert Hills in Manhattan, Kansas. But if you guys can't come visit us, check out the Rise and Rep Foundation on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or risnerup.org. And once again, kymel.org. So if you guys want to know anything else about what we talked about, go check out all of that. And hopefully we'll be seeing everyone soon. Go Cats. That's all good, brother.